targets the client's objective of why they want to exercise and what they want to achieve. So if we look at Cam's example of, let's say, just a regular good old push-up or even modified push-up on the knee, just by modifying the exercise by having the resistance on the knee, we're shortening the lever and we're creating less resistance and pull on the lower back. Now, how we can make that modified as a client to a trainer is really self-explanatory, and we're going to explore that in a moment. So one of the great things about that is partner-assisted exercise is you can do a full body workout with minimal equipment. You don't even need any equipment. As long as you understand the body, the joints, the actions, the lever systems, you can have a heck of a lot of fun with your clients. It's also important to realize that you can change the intensity, the actual resistance, and you can make it lighter. That's an example of like Cam's push-up. Another great thing about it is you can basically play with cadence, the speed. We talked about levers, form. I think we covered it all.
That helps you isolate those specific muscles that maybe you can't isolate with other exercises. Like in Cam's push-up, let's say she's doing the modified push-up because her back hurts, but she still has a strong chest. She can still do full push-up with that muscle. And you can add some kind of resistance or add resistance on the back. That doesn't stress out her lower back. It makes the push-up more.
So Cam, So Monica was here, and let's get your hands out. Close your fists. And Monica and Alex were just doing this exercise. So let's push up and down. And the client's saying, yeah, I just don't feel it in my chest muscles enough. You brought in a great suggestion. You said, well, what if we were to straighten the arm and just do adduction? And Andre said, why can't we take this exercise and add that element into it? So how can we add additional adduction, horizontal shoulder adduction into the chest press? How can we do that?
Well, I guess it's here. Yeah, again, try to. Yeah.
And we don't want it to be a single arm or a unilateral exercise. We still want it to be the same exercise.
Okay.
Bilateral chest press. We still want the hands on the
You're
knuckles.
strong.
She is strong. So how do you make it easier on yourself then? Think of levers.
Well, I can shorten mine.
That makes it harder for you, right? You shorten the levers. So she's working.
No, it will be easier because my elbows will not be affected.
Okay, let me jump in.
Yeah,
So
okay.
beautiful thing
Excellent
about-
effort. Good try.
We're
Counts
really
as we're
close.
learning. We're on
Beautiful thing
track
about,
here.
partner-assisted resistance. You can put resistance in any way. So we're thinking one way. We're thinking, chest press. We're pressing up against gravity, but you're pressing against my resistance. So the normal chest press, you're going to be pressing up, press up. Okay, how does that feel? Okay, so now all I'm going to do is add resistance out. So you're going to press up and close in. Close your hands together. Close your hands together, all the way together. So she's getting that adduction.
She's getting the horizontal adduction.
Okay, and then I can add more, so it's all the way up there, and don't let me pull you out. Resist, resist, resist. There you go. Okay? You feel that?
Yep. So we saw how we added the regular vertical resistance press, and we applied the adduction component. And Andre was able to do it, not because he's a strong, buff guy. No. He's using his own positioning and body weight. So whether you're a Tanya or an Andre, let's get you in the position now, Tanya.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Alex.
Oh.
Y'all shaking.
I have 2 hours workout before this.
All right, so let's just do the first original exercise. So knuckles, and just press up to the ceiling, nice and easy. Okay, good. And then to review what we just did was Andre then applied, so let's push it now, draw horizontally, adduct. There you go, think of Carolyn Deedy's class here. Okay, adduct. Okay, push up and adduct. Good. And you see how I'm positioned, everybody? Am I working hard? No, I'm just kind of sitting like this in the forest, if you know what I mean. And I'm just leaning. It's easy, right? So I'm not working hard at all.
Just use body weight, that's it.
Yeah. And if you're working like somebody, let's have me in that position now. And you're getting a lot of attention today, which is good, isn't it, Tanya? You're going to push on me.
Yeah, that's how you learn.
You're going to push on me, and we're going to take your idea you had earlier. You had single arm, so we're going to make it unilateral. Okay? And now you're going to do that with me. Okay? So do you think it's effective? Yeah, one hand or two hands for her. Yeah. Are you in a wide stance where you feel strong, your base is secure? Okay. And if you were to put all your weight down, would it go from there to here? Or are you trying to like organize yourself so you have to put all your weight down here? Would you be more effective if you sidestepped a little bit to the left? Is that better? Is that easier for you now? Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, now Q, try to tell me what to do. Say I'm a beginner.
Okay.
Pretend
Bend your elbow.
pretend I'm used to the hammer straight machines.
Okay.
And this is my first time working with you, and I'm
Okay.
ready to rock.
bend your elbow on the floor, yeah. And now try to push up your your arm up
Okay,
towards the ceiling and toward your chest.
okay. Okay, like that?
Yes.
Okay,
And now bend
down.
your elbow. Yeah.
So what kind of cues can we also give? This is great. You're providing resistance, you're bang on, and are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now what can we do to give me better instructions or heighten the instructions, the verbal cues? What things should we tell a client to do correctly?
Well, keep your wrist straight, like in neutral
Okay, so
position.
mechanical, yeah.
Yeah.
Elbows not locked.
Elbows not locked, and try to keep your shoulders on
On the mat, good.
the mat, so not.
All right, and so Audrey, you said breathing. Breathing's important.
Cadence.
So now just
breathing, exhale, extending your elbow
Okay.
up. Yeah.
Perfect. So now let's have you,
Inhale.
Irena. Irena, who's running a little late, gave us a lot of notice that she was being late, so it's no big deal. Intros later. Why don't you apply those things now to this exercise, the cueing?
Okay, so if you come down and we're gonna reach up, don't go to full extension.
Okay.
And I want you on a 4 count. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3, 4, and come right back up, down without a pause. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you doing?
I think I'm doing a 10. I'm doing a great job, right?
You're doing a 10?
Don't start for me.
But intensity, this is 10 for you?
No.
No, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the intensity for you?
I don't know.
Like a 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably a 2. Well, I'll use my foot. How about that? No, I'm kidding. Great, and so I should end this properly.
Why don't we
Okay.
talk about breathing too?
Okay. Okay, so what
So
I
I know the cadence, you were just cueing me, so I figured it out.
Sure. So we're going to breathe out and breathe in. Nice. And I can hear you, which is great. That's nice.
Awesome. Good. So I think we exhausted that exercise a little bit. Now we're going to go to another muscle group.
Can I
yeah.
mention one thing? So before we start, Monica had a question about how to activate the chest with just positioning. Right. So the best way to isolate the chest is shoulder blades back and down, so you can really get that pectoral muscle stretching instead of taking. So if you come up here, we all kind of anterior deltoids. So that's why I want to drop those shoulders back. But the beautiful thing about the floor press, when you're using weights, partner assisted resistance, anything like that, is that your kind of shoulders are locked at the bottom. So you're not getting that full stretch, so you're taking out the shoulders. So very good for clients with shoulder injuries or anything like that. Throwing them on the floor, let's get a floor press going.
Can you just point to the muscle? If I just went up straight like this, what am I
So if
working?
you're going, now for the chest, if you're changing the angle up here,
Yeah.
it's going to be a little bit more shoulders, it's going to be more the clavicular aspect of the chest. And then more middle.
And if you're just
And then if you're
straight
going
up.
down, that's going to get the
Okay.
lower
So
thrust.
if it's more like this, it's more clavicular and anterior
And then it
deltoid.
coming together is really.
And then yeah, so the fibers go kind of like this.
And that's where we're going to have that little anatomy.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll have a,
We'll go deeper there. But in the interest of moving forward with exercises, we're going to move to a different body part now. So let's move on to the shoulders. So Alex, you were assigned some shoulders.
Yes.
So what was one of the
I
exercises?
had the sitting with the resistance.
Good, because I'd say that's like one of the real only valid ones there, I'd say. The others were sprinkling.
All right.
All right, so let's do that. And let's have Cam be the client. Are you okay with that, Cam? All right, and let's get started with that. So on the floor or on the mat, you
Sitting
choose.
down, your legs straight out in front of you.
I'm actually just gonna kneel. Okay. My legs straight out in front of me.
Yeah. Does that work? Is that
Mhm.
good? Yeah.
We have a real
Is
live
that comfortable?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
great.
There's an adjustment right there that she
Yeah,
There you go, yeah.
actually, I just like elevating a bit helps to reduce the strain
Okay.
versus like straight.
Sounds good. So we're gonna have your arms up by the side, raise up at L, perfect. And I'm gonna have my hands here, and we're gonna resist upwards. Okay. You're gonna push. Good. Down.
And how low should I go?
You want it to be 45-degree angle.
All right, so we had the exercise, we had the technique, and we had a question, which is nice because we have a lot of black clients. And that's a client that asks lots of questions, in case you're curious. And so we have the black client. How low should I go? And you said till 90 or 45 degrees, or the upper arms parallel. Why?
Why?
Yeah, why, Rena?
I was going to ask that question. If you go lower, I can guess it.
Yeah, you said that's your
Get
guess.
turned.
Let's do that.
I feel like you're just not really going to hit the muscle. It becomes inefficient
Well, I got one for you. I used to do powerlifting and strongman. I'll tell you, you're going to be stronger and work your muscles more with a deeper range of motion. But the reason I'd say 80% of our clients, we don't want to go deeper, is because it creates more of a shearing force in the shoulder joint. So we want to look at the maximum benefit with the least amount of risk. And just going to 90 degrees, 80% of the time is the important way to do that. So we can think ahead of them when they're 90 years old. Hopefully they're still doing that exercise and not mad at their 30-year-old self or 40-year-old self for going too deep.
So for the muscle, it's better to go deeper, but for the joint, it's not better. And I would take the joint over the muscle in this case.
So you can do a warm-up, an active warm-up with light resistance going full. But then when you have a more like working set or something with higher resistance, then exercise with caution. Full range of
Depends on
motion is
the
good.
client as well.
You can do a static exercise at a deep level. So, let's hold this. Cam, let's go all the way down. This is your starting position. And for our set here, for the first 3 seconds, I'm going to resist you. You're going to push as hard as you can. Be sure to keep your chin tucked in, your shoulders back and down, and engage your core so we don't compress your lower back. Deal? Okay, I want you to purse your lips and push as hard as you can for 3 seconds. And once we get to second 4, you're just going to go up to your normal range of motion, and then we'll do 10 reps just to 90 degrees. Sound good? So let's go deep to the start position. And let's push as hard as you can for here. 3, push, breathe. 2, push your lips. 1, and now we go for 10 reps. Just down to 90 degrees. Here we go. Good. Nice cadence. Did you see how we applied that? Good. Awesome. So how else can we work the client's shoulder? Let's have you be the trainer now, Cam. Thank you. You can choose a victim. I mean.
We can do say lateral delt raises. This would be unilateral. Are you
Yeah, whatever.
all right? So
Pick anybody.
yeah, okay, great. So we're gonna just be doing some. We're gonna be basically working your middle delt here, and we'll be doing one side here. So what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna be right beside you, just behind you, and I'm gonna just be applying a little bit of pressure on your arm, and you're just basically be raising up against my resistance and then back down. Okay. And just engage your core, ribs knit, good. Tuck your chin, and we're gonna come up for 4. So 4, 3, 2, 1, and back down again. Good. And back up again. 4, 3, 2, 1. And how's the resistance there?
Perfect, actually.
Stand up.
See, that's a beautiful thing about partner system resistance. You don't have a dumbbell where you have to pick the weight. You have your intervals of maybe 5 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever. You can add that exact resistance in for the max she can push, given that you're strong enough. But she can give you the max resistance through the whole range of motion, right? She can feel that. Instead of saying, okay, well, 10, yeah, I can sort of lift 10, but I can't lift 15s. Sometimes it's perfect, but in this case, it's excellent. You can just give it that full range of motion. Same with if you're doing the same exercise with the dumbbell, where's gravity resisting? Here, right? Down here, you're not really doing anything. You just swing up with momentum, right? That's why the lateral raise is such a hard exercise, right?
And just to really go on, say you have a lot of energy for the first few reps and Cam is pushing considerably hard.
Yeah.
You fatigue, but she wants to maintain a static iso exercise. So the speed is the same all the way through. You'll lighten the resistance that you apply upon Monica, but she'll still maintain the same speed. And we'll also be able to see when you start to tweak and move your body around. So we can be hands-on literally and cue you. A lot of clients will do this.
And she
And
can
this.
sense how much to apply based on how high and how heavy I'm going.
And to give you real-time cueing if you're getting
Yeah.
off the spot.
Yeah.
So same exercise here. Cam, you're still the trainer. We have a MCL history tear and a partially torn ACL, and Monica's locking her knees through the whole exercise. Is that considered? What can we do here?
Well, we can also have her seated with legs slightly extended out if that's comfortable.
No chairs. We're in the middle of a field. Her son's playing soccer, and she invited you while she's watching the game. Time is important.
Monica, what we can have you do is take a slightly wider stance, slight bend in the knees, relax your posture, abs on. And I'm just going to give you a little push. You let me know if you feel stable. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Great. So this could be a starting position.
Great. See how Cam did that? She got her in a wider stance, bend her knees. Another good way, by the way, I found is just have a client jump, land on their feet, and then you'll see where their natural athletic stance is. And just good cue I use it a lot. Stick your butt out like Donald Duck. That way, we're ensuring they don't have this kind of curvature, but they have this kind of curvature, which means their glutes are working and their hip flexors aren't too short.
So
that makes sense?
versus posterior pelvic tilt.
Yeah.
You know the difference?
Say it again,
Anterior and posterior pelvic tilt.
like that.
So think of a bucket. Your hips are your pelvis is a bucket. Anterior, you're pouring the water forward. Posterior, you're pouring it back.
So posterior pelvic tilt, anterior pelvic tilt. Donald Duck is an anterior pelvic tilt. All right, so let's have you stick your butt out like Donald Duck, so your body's parallel to the floor now.
Yeah.
All right, get your arms up overhead.
Yeah.
Close your fists.
Yeah.
In fact, tilt your body down a little bit lower. Good. Yeah, and straighten your knees just a little bit. Good.
Okay.
So now we have nearly a 90-degree positioning.
Yeah.
And then I want you to bring, do a little shoulder press here, horizontal shoulder
Okay,
press.
so then it's with resistance.
Yeah.
That makes more
So now I'm the resistance.
sense. Okay.
So that's like one modification.
Yeah, okay.
Good. What's another modification we can have? I'm going to lie on the floor here. And Mark, I want to work my delts. I just did the whole bunch of squats, jump squats.
You can't
Okay, I'm just lying on the floor, but you're not going to let me rest for a second because I want to get my money's worth.
Yeah, I hear you.
I want to work my shoulders now.
Okay, all right. Would you put your hand right by your leg here?
Let's just put it this way. Pretend I'm like a type A client who just wants to be told what to do.
Oh, okay.
We don't need to ask for permission.
Okay, put your hand by your leg. All right. Okay, now lift up your arms straight up vertically. Arm up vertically.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now come back down. Good, now up.
Good. So we're doing agonist antagonist abduction.
Make sure you're breathing, okay?
Sure.
Sure.
What is the neck position? Is the neck position okay? Shoulder blades?
Oh,
I'm pretty comfortable, to be honest.
I'm not sure that proper answer to that, but since you brought it up, probably.
Okay, so we have this exercise, which is cool. So it's we're doing some abduction, which is working all three heads of the deltoid, and you also then had the opposite, the antagonistic motion, which is adduction. So that works our pecs and our lats, which is nice. Good, and it's all concentric. So we all know the difference between just concentric and eccentric. So concentric generally can help proliferate the muscle and joint, blood and synovium respectively. It can help deplete glycogen or fortify it if it's for training. You don't want to be sore, but you want to build up your glycogen level for performance. And it doesn't stimulate the nervous system as much as eccentric, but a lot of clients can enjoy that because they're not sore afterwards. Good, we have that. We'll get deep on the cues and the specifics, but I like that. Great creativity. Now you are the client, and you will choose the next person. We're going to continue with shoulders. You happen to have one of these things.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
For your practice.
There you go. Feel comfortable?
This is.
Yeah, okay, here, I'll help you with the nap. And go for 2, 1 Mississippi 2, and we're gonna use the other direction. Here we go. And we're gonna come closer, 1 Mississippi 2. Great? Good, how's that?
That's
Great,
great, yeah, thank you.
amazing.
Okay, one thing I want to add in there, both of you kind of focusing on just the concentric, but on the eccentric phase, with partner assisted, with the weight, you can, you're going to naturally just lower it down, you're going to control it down, or else it's just going to drop down. You'll see a lot of beginners, they press the weight up and then it just drops down. So when you're adding the resistance, it's kind of hard to see, hard to feel that eccentric phase. So you always get them to push up, that's easy, they're just pushing and you just control the pace. But then going down, you have to give them the time. You have to say, okay, resist, resist, resist,
yeah.
I'm going to be pushing you down.
Okay.
And you give like, hey, 2 seconds, a little bit slower, a little bit faster, or you can do a full negative.
Yep.
That gives it variety, that makes it really hard. Say, okay, don't let me push you down if you're strong enough, and then you push them down, then you can also control how hard you're.
So what Andre is talking about is the focused objective. I threw in a little curveball by saying, okay, here's somebody who's rehabbing a shoulder with an weak external rotator. Now Andre is giving all these other examples, and that helps us always remember when we're working with the client, what's their objective? Why are they doing the exercise? Is it for rehab? Is it for sport? Is it just for variety? And that's an important thing to always focus upon.
Or even with the rehab, though, you still need to focus on eccentric phase, especially with rotator cuff injuries. The picture, that's the most important thing, that eccentric, controlling those muscles back. So they're using these powerful muscles to explode, but they need their eccentric muscles in the posterior to kind of control that. So you can't skip that phase either, even if it's just light. Just saying, okay, now resist me going down, but not super hard. Let me win, follow my pace.
Does that make sense, everybody? Good. And if it doesn't, it will eventually.
As soon as you test it out next, as soon as you go back, you'll notice it. So there's this muscle here, so let's use this as an example. Come be my client for a second. So we're going to do the lateral raise. So you're going to push up, right? And then you're going to let me win as I'm coming down. Okay? As opposed to, push up. And then, okay, now come down all the way. See how you're using complete opposite muscles?
Yeah.
So you always want to resist down as well.
What's the eccentric in that?
So concentric is muscle shortening. eccentric is muscle lengthening, so it's still working.
Okay.
Alright? Any other questions about that? Should I throw that in there?
Isn't all
There's
the
the
work-
dynamic between doing concentric to concentric to concentric to eccentric or eccentric only.
Okay.
And we'll go deeper in the future workshops, but that's just like just remember that, and if it's not super familiar, it will be after the 8 weeks here, or the 8 workshops.
Questions?
No, I just, you answered it, that there's a dynamic between it, but I always thought that the eccentric was where the work was, like that's where the good work is, but.
Concentric is positive,
Yeah.
let's say in a bicep curl, concentric, and then eccentric, the same muscle's working, but I'm controlling it down. To me, to push my arm this way, I'm using my triceps. Biceps go this way. But to lower, if I contract my triceps right now with gravity, it's going to shoot down, right? So I need to kind of lower with my biceps. Does
There's
that make
merit
sense?
to both, and it's always good eccentrics for your ligament and tendon strength
Okay,
and nervous system conditioning.
okay.
But there's a point where doing concentric only work is fine, just like
No,
static
there's nothing
contraction
wrong
is
with
fine.
that.
And it's important that you think with all those different tools from the toolbox, so we're not just like a one-trick pony trainer.
Yeah, and I'm
Who
just
just does
saying,
this all the time, you know, or
don't forget,
or this all the
don't forget
time.
about that phase. Because when you go to lift weights, then you won't have that strength if all you're doing is concentric. So just don't forget about that. You can choose what situation you would use that in or not, right? Make it negatives, whatever, but make sure you don't forget about that phase. As long as you know
Let's
why
talk
you're
about the
doing it.
risks quickly. Let's just add this part in. If you only do concentric training, you're prone to hurting yourself because you have a strong muscle doing this. Say it's a shoulder press, but if you're an athlete and somebody comes at you and tackles you, you can't absorb the shock because you don't have the eccentric conditioning. That's an important thing to consider.
Okay,
Any other questions about that?
no, that's awesome.
If you're a female and you want to boost your bone density, and that's one of your goals, and all you're doing is sitting up, but you're not applying that eccentric, resistance for the squat, your example, then you're getting only half the benefit, and we're selling our client short. Cool. Let's segue.
Okay, so
No, just
how about I'm
put,
gonna jump in right here. So
press it, yeah.
one leg down, and one leg up. Okay. And I'm just gonna lean my body weight into it. Now push, 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 push. Yeah, and down. So I can
Is this hard for you, Andre?
No, this is easy.
Oh, you're just
Just
using your
relax.
body weight. Okay.
And then
Oh
if
wait,
I,
you mean
if
you're
I wanna
not
make
you're
it
not
really-
like grinding your triceps out here? No. Okay.
If I want to make it really hard, if she's really strong, I can lean my whole body, change my pivot, right? See how control she is. Two legs you start with, you move to one.
Tanya, now you're going to be Andre's trainer. And let's see, if it's someone like you, who you've described yourself as not big, right?
Yes.
You're working against this guy who,
Okay.
probably squats 400 plus pounds. And now you are doing it. Now here's a curveball. You're in the middle of a soccer field and somehow somebody didn't pick up after their dog and he's gonna poop on his shoe. So how can we do this without, putting our hands on the poopy shoes?
Take off shoes.
Sure. Okay. So let's pretend we do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Someone else will get that question later on, and we'll have to think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, you got the easy answer.
Okay, push. You can push and slowly pull towards you.
So
I
work to
like press over.
it worked to an extent. But
Yeah.
how can we help Tanya? Is it Tanya
So-
or Tanya?
Weight is not going to do it. I can lift you with my one leg 100
Yeah.
times. So how do you make it harder? Maybe changing something else, maybe cadence or something different.
Somebody help Tanya if she doesn't have the answer right away.
When you say the cadence or how we had the resistance for where you're pushing and then you're, like it's both ways, is that what you mean?
We're talking
Or
about the
another
speed
one?
with cadence.
Okay.
So if it's
1, 2,
slow
3,
down
yeah.
for 10,
Why
pause,
didn't you
push for
just-
3.
Put one foot up, and then you just, whatever, you have new shoes, right?
Yeah.
And we just hold it there, and we just hold it there
Holding
and
I'm
holding it.
Holding only.
It's just, yeah, and just keep holding it, but apparently it's not working for you, because you're smiling. But like,
Yeah.
there's a stationary
Yeah, hold it
position.
static, hold it static.
Static,
Okay.
that's it. Or, suddenly I'm having a feeling, no, but that's a different
Pulling.
exercise.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Work on the flexors. Okay. But yeah, it's changing up different muscles.
Pulling and pushing.
What about like a slow cadence down and then up? Slow down. You can add pulses. At the weak point, get me right 90 degrees, give me pulses.
Extreme example
Hopefully
where you
you don't
have
get a
somebody
client.
who can push like that. You can also like surf. You can put all your weight on their body as well. We should show that. So here, I'll go down this time. Because by and large,
So I like to go like this, just so I have the support. And here. So then he's pushing pretty much my full body weight.
Wow.
And you can have them to support themselves too. Like put your hand there, make sure your knee doesn't flare out, and so forth. It's a good challenge. I like it.
Side before with some abduction. So let's have some fun here. Lay completely on your side. Just rest on your side. Is your neck comfortable? You're in a good position?
Yeah.
Good. So now what I want you to do is I want you to flex your right hip to 90 degrees. Good. And then what I want you to do is to go from here to here. Sound good? And let's just have a little bend in your knee. Where was that little pop? I heard a little pop. Is that your hip?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's supposed to happen. That's good. That's carbon. That's a sign of like healthy hips, healthy joints. Yeah, release some pressure in there. Remember, nothing can go wrong when you're on stage. Yeah, that's good. It's supposed to be blue. Can you feel this?
Well, I can
So I'm just,
feel it.
yeah, just gently. And then like what you can say is like, in this case, let's have you turn your toe down a little bit. So then we get a little more. Do you feel a difference?
Yeah.
What do you feel more? This is testing your anatomy. Which muscle do you feel more now that you turned down?
Well, I feel more
More piriformis, glute med.
gluten.
Yeah, good. Nice. That's generally the thing. Internally rotate.
Now,
hands here,
targeting
and then push yourself and squeeze.
All those
And now you're working your adductors here.
Oh.
Can you feel that? Yeah, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. So that's different ways where you have the partner assisted, and then you actually can have them do it too. Awesome.
Great. And if you don't have the wall, how do you simulate that kind of similar action? Easy one. Same thing.
What if you don't have a
You don't have a wall. No, don't worry about the wall. Say you're focusing on that abduction.
Just do a squat. Do the squat.
Oi.
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
just-
close.
Like
Lie
so.
down.
So that isometric contraction. They can bend down in squat
Oh,
position.
yeah. And then you just
Okay.
push it.
Now push with my feet and push my knee away with your knee. Push as hard as you can. Come on. You feel that, right?
Wow.
Good. And I'm just sitting here. Thank you.
Very cool.
I'll just keep expanding that. Even part of a warm-up or a cool-down is having a client flex their knee to 90 and push as hard as they can. They'll feel it here, and then we'll feel it here.
It's a very good exercise.
Yeah, just an an
And
activation
that's part of the cool down.
or warm-up.
You can do it as an exercise too. It can be a hard exercise.
Before I squat, I will often do that. And also when you're squatting with or without resistance, and you want them to emphasize their glute med more, you definitely don't want this to happen, which is called, by the way, is this valgus or vagus leads?
Valgus.
Okay, good. As you want to push out, so you can just tell them, pretend there's an invisible band around your ankles and you want to spread the floor. So just by telling them to push out active, there's a rubber floor, of course. That's a good way to activate their glute med a little more too. Just those cues go a long way. Nice, very good.
Oh, because what's the point of lifting one arm up? How is that targeting the core?
Oh, yeah, just making sure that you're working, your hips are parallel to the ground, so they're
Yeah,
not,
so
they're not
hips. So-
tilted.
I can go like this for days. I can do this.
Right.
When you lock it in,
Or like
that's a lot harder.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
So I should
Holding
be,
or even just cueing. Yeah.
yeah, and then just have them like reach over.
Because that's what the
Okay,
which
please
muscle-
show the group.
Sure.
So
okay.
Andre's doing the
So
exercise.
Andre, let's say we're gonna have you doing single arm. Yeah,
This is so
that's
easy.
good. Yeah, it looks easy. So what I'm gonna do?
So here, Karen says to you, lock your hips, keep them level. But it just doesn't happen.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
weird.
They're locked. They're locked. What are you
So
talking
they're
about?
locked. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna place my hands on your hips, just to give you a bit of a guidance, and try not to move out of this position. Now go and reach. Good. Do you feel a little bit of a difference now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And there's no rotation here, so I'm gonna let go and see if you're able to hold this on your
And
own.
Mark, that is a
Perfect.
tactical cue. So that's where we use tactical cues. And that's where there's the partner-assisted exercise. So it's not only adding resistance, it's also reducing resistance. And the partner assist is also the verbal cue. So it could be like hips level, give them positive like motivation, that's good. And it also can be a tactical cue. So like those are all the major elements of partner-assisted exercise. Cool. Capiche?
Good
He's in that position.
Thanks.
Partner assisted.
Who's next? You can choose someone
Go
or they
into
can
bow
jump in.
position.
Pardon me?
Point to
Both
someone. Just point
Position, so,
Both?
yeah.
Like
So
this?
just come through here and sit up. Lean back. Put your arms like this. Great. And resist me. There we go.
How's that feeling, Paul?
Feel it? Static contraction. Good. I really feel that. Yeah.
You
Which-
want,
what
you can do
muscles
this
am I-
one here.
Which muscles am I working?
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Transverse.
And
No,
I'm
yeah, transverse.
I do feel it. I like that way to
Transverse
static
abdominals.
exercise.
Yeah.
And then we have, your TVA and QL. all
Which was
different
what I was
muscles,
gonna say.
rotation muscles, And how they're applied dynamically or statically, while this one still has to maintain its sagittal contractions, which is really cool.
Thank you. Awesome.
All right, cool. What else? Give me something else. This is good because a lot of our clients want to work their abs. I want to work here.
You can do a hollow
Here.
hold. So we'll get you to lie down on your back, knees and feet flat on the floor. Bring your knees into your chest. Good. Push your lower back into the mat. You're gonna take your hands like this, just above your head. Keep your arms by your ears. Good. Yeah. Good.
I'm really
Like that?
inflexible.
Yeah. Okay. Just straighten your legs up a little bit and lower them down until you feel a little bit of resistance. Good. Now I want you to peel your shoulders up off the mat, and we're gonna hold that for 20 seconds. Lower down the legs a little bit more. Great. And I should not be able to get my hand under there. Good.
Why am I shaking?
Because you haven't done this before.
Why am I shaking?
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, no. Right in the part.
Oh, okay.
The client's like, why am I shaking?
Yeah.
You
So
get
this
it a
is
lot.
normal. Yeah. So this is a normal response. It's
Okay.
just your muscles are actually firing now.
Okay, now
Okay.
watch
Yeah,
this, watch
and
this.
to come out of
Annoying
it.
client,
So this is
stay in this
normal.
position, and resist me. Sit up, come on, resist.
Oh, okay, good.
That's how
And
you
then to
really
come out
kind
of
of
it,
get those
bring
clients
it easier.
to
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep rocking here. I want to work this. Okay, choose who's next. You want to think of all those things because if you're in a bad position and you're the trainer, you can hurt yourself or you can make yourself really tired very quickly. And if you're working with 5 clients over a 6-hour period or something like that, you're going to be fatigued quite quickly, readily. So that's where, when in doubt, going to the athletic stance, sticking your butt out and using your body weight. So whether it's a floor press like we did before, or like a modified leg press, you're using your body weight, you're using your levers, and you always want to think of your own back health, your back care, knee care, and so forth. Sound good? Awesome. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Wicked. All right, so now we're going to talk about cueing. So let's hear it. What is it?
Sometimes it's a way to instruct the client.
Okay, let's go rapid fire. What's cueing?
It can be correcting someone, it can be
Correcting.
telling them what to adjust if they're doing something wrong posturally, or it
Okay,
can also be counting.
okay. What's cueing?
Or could be something like imagining or by association something.
It can be some visualization cue. Okay, good. So like how we're getting these different perspectives. Cam.
Cueing is basically guiding the client through movement, correcting posture as you go, but doing so in a non-invasive way as much as possible. So even if you're applying touch, just letting them know that you're going to be applying touch and doing so in the least invasive way.
We're going to expand all these points. I'm glad. And Alex.
Cueing is when you help them understand something, so if that's by touch, as we discussed, or a way of counting, or different ways, depending how they learn.
So the key is understand, learn. Okay, Irena.
Checking in, seeing where they are, if there's anything that's painful or where their intensity is.
Great. So it could be, like their perceived exertion, even checking in how they are, right? Like where are they morning that day?
Yeah, where they are.
Good night's
That's
sleep,
right.
all those different things. Andre?
I see that as a trainer's way to communicate with their client without expanding, telling them a story, blah, 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 talking on long. Quick way to say, okay, fix that, or reassure them, give them confidence. The list goes on.
So it's about like keeping them on track.
Yep.
Monica, you're not just a fly on the wall, you're also participating here. So what is cueing? Surprise.
Yeah, it's a way to, it's communication.
Communication.
Communicate with a client.
All right, great. And I thought I'd now bridge that, and it's always important what we're just discussing. All these various points and perspectives are all right. And the key thing is you want to reinforce where they want to go. So an example could be somebody is groggy. It's their 5:30 a.m. workout. They've been training with you for 3 weeks, and they're sore. Cueing them is getting them into that mental state of where they were when they signed up, when they were excited. So you may need to cue them psychologically. You may need to cue them physically with a nice longer warm-up. The key is you get them ready to go where they need to go. It's also directing the client to where they want to be, so why they called us. So sometimes you can simply ask people, what are your goals again? Have they changed? And that can cue someone right on track to where they want to be. You actually said, hey, I do have a concern, and here we are, and Cuing, you can also say synonymous with checking in, seeing how the client is, and sometimes asking them directly, are you feeling good overall with your experience? Or it could be right on with an exercise and modifying your form.
Right.
So thanks for that share, that was great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you got to think of it holistically. It's not just one thing. And we also know why it's important. We kind of touched point on that, which is great. And what's the difference between a good cue and a great one? Stop there. Stop. Okay, watch me. You're going to have your hands equally displaced on your shoulders. One cannot be higher. Your right arm is higher than the left. Okay, start with that. Now bridge onto your knees. Okay, now go on your toes and lift up your knees. Good. Nice start position. Bend your elbows slightly. Put your belly button to your spine. Keep your hip level. Now slowly descend into the push-up and stop when I snap. And now push off. Good. So that's just an example. Don't snap your elbows. Go down nice and controlled. And stop. There. Down. There. Up. There. Good. Inhale slow and controlled as you go down. Exhale as you go up. Nice. Relax.
Those
So-
50 cues. You have 50 cues in that little 30-second period, but all reflex. He wasn't thinking about it, was just shooting them out.
Yeah, and we could have kept going and got super critical. But in this case, visual. Some people are visual learners. So you can talk until you're blue in the face and they're not going to get it. Sometimes you just got them, get them away from the ground zero and show them how to restart. Sound good? Good. Awesome. So that's a great little example there between, say, a good cue and to make a great one in that specific example.
So a great cue is specific, is
Client-centered.
To the client.
Client-centered. Wanting to be here now.
Yeah.
So you were getting him in the moment because he was thinking about other stuff. And we'll also discover a lot of our clients can sort of be preoccupied. And it's our goal to anchor them to now. There's a major association with being in the present moment and feeling awesome. And that's another very important point with cueing. A good cue at the end of the day, it's not the exercises you do, it may not be what you talk about, but it's how they feel, and how that experience is after the workout. That's what they're going to remember. And the closer you can bring them into the now, every workout, the better their experience is going to be. So it could be through breathing, through counting with them.
Being present
Being
with
present.
everything.
Yeah. So that's the cueing too.
It's a great idea.
I know. Yeah, so that's a very important thing too.
Focusing on the muscle. If he's trying to work out chest, focus on that chest. Your mind is in your chest. Get that mind-muscle connection.
Yeah.
Squeeze
We
your
have
chest.
one client,
Focus.
and he's getting in shape for a wedding, and he's got an Arnold's numero uno t-shirt. So it's like, think of the peak of the bicep. You're making a mountain. The visualization, the graphing of the muscle. Andre, why don't you just give a good example of tactical cueing here?
Okay, so let's see. I'm assuming your knees are going to be longer.
Reverse lunge here. So my history, I have a partially torn ACL, so I'm not going to do a forward lunge.
Keep that knee.
Okay.
Don't push in too far. Good. Keep it right in between. Good. And up. Driving through the glutes. Good.
So you could say use your fingers, feel the glutes.
Yeah, I'm not going to poke in the glute, but keep your backs nice and straight. Core nice and tight. Elevator. Good.
Okay, I got one.
Position. Okay. That's one. Actually put them in position. Another thing is, let's say I want to focus on the quads, the glutes. You say, okay, focus on this muscle.
So when you say
Tap it.
focus on the muscle to a client, and they're like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
What do you
so
say?
come in
Think about it.
reverse lunge.
Okay, so if I'm like this, and I go down, yeah.
Good. And you want to work out quads right now. So I'm saying, squeeze this muscle at the top. Feel
Oh,
right here
okay,
and
so
come up.
squeeze it, okay.
Come up and squeeze. Right
Oh,
here.
okay.
This is where you should
So
feel.
he's- okay,
All the way
so
down.
I'm like, what does that mean?
Good. So that's another way to use tactical.
So focus, squeeze it, okay.
I mean, for the quads, usually reverse lunges, you're going to feel it, so it's not the best example. For that, you'd probably use more verbal cues and stuff like that, or visual demonstrations. But again, there's a time and place for every kind of cue. Okay, so let's say we get into a chest motion. So let's come back to a fly. Let's say we're doing a fly on the ground, so lie on your back.
Okay.
Okay, and he doesn't feel it in his chest, right? So I'm here, and you're squeezing it. Come on, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Our main focus is chest. He wants to look like Arnold, right? So we're doing this, and he doesn't feel it in his chest. He feels it more anterior deltoids. So let's use a tactical cue to kind of help him feel it in his chest. Someone want to jump in?
You go lower. You put your, sorry, I don't mean to.
Yeah,
I'm
tactical
jumping
cue.
in.
Yeah, no, you jump
Tactical.
in.
So bring it, yeah, right.
So
So bring your arms out
Okay.
and then come a little bit lower.
Okay.
And there's still a little bend, and you're gonna still do the same motion,
Okay.
and we're gonna work the chest more.
So physically manipulating his arms, that's tactical.
Okay.
So moving his arms into that position. So say move your arms down, he's not getting it. That
Tractional
would
is
be the
also
time.
hands-on, like.
Yes,
just-
hands
yeah.
on. Exactly. Alright, so this is that's how she is. Someone give her a tactical cue. Just jump in.
Okay, we wanna drop the hips down, 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 down. Good, right there. Now hold it. Okay. And we wanna clench your stomach. Good, right there.
Would you say straighten legs as well, like her knees are bent? Would you want like to be straight legs?
It's okay to move a
okay
little
to
bit
bend a
straighter
little
is better. What happens if we straighten it? How does that feel? Does it make it harder on the core?
Yep,
Or
a
easier?
little harder on the core, yeah.
You can make it a super plank by flexing your knees as hard as you can, squeeze your quads, squeeze your glutes now as hard as you can. Now drive your elbows into your toes. Okay? But none of that was a tactical cue.
That's a great.
If I want to add in a little bit, say, okay, you want to feel it right here. Squeeze right here, like you're bracing for a punch in the stomach, like you're flexing in front of the mirror, and just sometimes tapping that muscle shows you it's that connection where you're supposed to feel it. Feel in your abs, but I never contracted my abs before. You can rest. Then how are you going to feel in your abs if you never
Yeah.
contract? It's like
Yeah.
wiggling your ears. You know, can anyone wiggle their ears?
I can. I'm the best ear wiggler in the world.
But you got to get that mind muscle
Yeah, it has
connection,
to,
and
yeah.
sometimes just using a tactical cue, work on this muscle. You should feel it here. Oh,
Yeah.
feel it in your rear delts. Oh, I don't know anatomy. I don't know
what
rear
that
delts.
is.
So tap on it. Oh, this is where you feel it. You should feel it here instead of your core.
We talked about the competency when providing resistance.
No, we're just focusing on tactical.
Let's do this. Let's have you go into a long seated one, and we'll do a shoulder press, which is a common one.
Okay. I'll just keep my legs
This is
crossed.
this
The
is what
back
not to do. Okay, say we know how to do it. Can I touch you? Can I touch?
Excuse me?
Can I touch you?
want to touch me?
What not to do.
Yes.
How can we do that better, Irena?
You just. Okay. Ready? Apply pressure.
Here we go. Right, you just take control. Or like, let's say, my example of doing a lunge before. Andre, going through a lunge, and I want to give a little cue.
I've never gone to a client like
Trainers do. Trainers do. Who are creepy or incompetent. So, Andre, go into that lunge again, okay? Here, just, yeah, right there. And here you go. I'm just going to make sure you don't go farther than that because we only want your leg to go a certain extension forward.
Okay.
And I don't feel like, oh, I'm touching you.
No, I'm just doing it. I'm just being assertive and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But a bad trainer will do this. You go back into it. I'll like dramatize this a little bit. Is this okay? So you just gotta be clear, right? And then there's also platonic hands. So that's where it's important. Yeah, platonic hands. So let's do the bent over shoulder press again, Monica. Okay. So we don't want to grapple hands and hold hands or like have our palms touching. So that's where every time possible you want to knuckle to palm. Okay. So rather than like holding hands or wrists or things like that. And another reason too is we want to be smart when we have a knuckle to a wrist or a palm. It's less likely to create any kind of marks or bruises.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice
So
big surface, nice and strong. Keeps you in that nice fixed position.
let's have you go into a static lunge right now. Just be mindful of your knee. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go from here to here. We're going to do some abduction. In fact, you know what we're going to do on the other side. All right. I'm going to provide some resistance. So I just have my open hand. And I'm providing it on the wrist, so it's comfortable.
You're not
Again,
squeezing it or holding it awkwardly.
it's right here, nice little fat pad. And I'm also in my comfortable position, so I'm just kind of leaning and not even using any of my energy, so I don't mess myself up for my real training later. Right? Okay, make sure there's a little bend in your elbow. A little longer, pretend there's a golden rod, golden string on the vertex of your skull, pulling you up. Okay, good. We're going to do 6 more. This is good speed, good cadence. It's a positive reinforcement, a good form that's already happening. And then we're just going to hold it here for 4. Feel the muscle contract. Push as hard as you can. 3, 2, 1. Relax. So we gave lots of little cues there. We could also have done a karate chump on the hand as well. And then there's also, say, let's go back into the lunge. Andre?
Front lunge?
Yeah, so let's just have you go into a static lunge here. So the cue here is karate chop versus, again, hand on the knee. So that can be for anything. Let's do a chest press. Just do a chest press for the sake, we'll say you have a band and there's resistance. It's better to give a cue with your fingers out, sort of like a karate chop, rather than grabbing their wrist and redirecting them. If it's the elbows, keep doing the chest press.
we're adjusting them. So rather than grabbing your elbow and moving you around, it's just, here you go. It's almost like you're using your hands, karate chop.
And not
So
lingering
open
in
hands.
that position, kind of just flowing into it.
Does that make sense? The more you practice it, the more it'll all come together. Good. Anything you want to add?
What did you call that again? When
Oh,
you came
platonic
in?
hands.
Platonic hands.
Yeah, I just made it.
Yeah, that's good.
But it's
Yeah,
true.
It's gonna be on the exam.
Because, oh yeah, like, here, Andre, you're safe. Here, let's get you back here.
I didn't sign the
Here, let's get you here. Okay, so we're gonna do a little stretch. I want you to bring your shoulders back. Like the person's like, are you getting fresh with me? Like, what's going on? So again, platonic hands, shoulders back. You know, when it's like that, there's not gonna be any mixed messages.
Right.
Okay? Even the optics, the client knows you're giving
Show
them a
how
good
you had
cue.
your hand on the front of his chest just now. You had
Like
this on the
this,
back.
like you don't want to have open hands.
Okay,
Yeah, it's better to have karate chop hands, so platonic hands. Even if your client's like, oh, this is great, I love the tactical cues. But say you're working out in a condo, and Cam's working out on the elliptical, and she sees this trainer, and like they have their hands all over the client. You're like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So the more, you make sure the optics serve your purpose well in what you're doing, what you're facilitating. So platonic hands, knuckles, karate chop.
And just use a lot.
So we were just talking about tactical. We've also exercised many different verbal ways to cue people. So you can do that by maintaining different variants in your vocal tone. So if somebody needs a little bit of extra alertness in the morning, maybe it makes sense to speak up a little bit. Or you also don't want to come full blast at them. They're like, gosh, I've not even had a coffee yet. Take it easy. So I will say over and over again, read the room. Know when to elevate, when to go down. And it's a lot like a symphony as well. So if you're always talking at the same tone, whether it's loud or quiet, it's not going to have the same benefit as if there's a little bit of a variance there. So,
Newscasters do that to keep your attention.
pardon me?
It's a variance, like in a
Yes.
newscaster will generate, I know this because I study vocal stuff, they generate up and down, so no matter what they're saying, you can listen to them. It's all about the vocal variation.
Yeah, you probably know a lot more about it than I do. And what I'm sharing is just my own experience in working with clients and having seen trainers on my team and what captivates their clients. It's the ability to know how to use your voice like a muscle and how to use that to cue your clients. Because if you can get them into the now and listening to you, it's going to work really, really well. Because if you're working with someone, you're just like, okay, good, yeah, 5 more. You might as well be somewhere else. And then there's the audible cues. So that's, clapping or snapping your fingers, clapping your hands, any kind of noise. It could be
Even
counting, and I like to have clients count with me, and I'll often have them count backwards, switching numbers with me, because it gets them in the moment, in the now. They're not going to be thinking about, that they have to pick up their kids from daycare or whatever it may be.
distracts them from a painful wall sit.
And here's another one. Say, Alex, you did a really good set, and right now you're doing your next exercise, and it's some squats. Okay?
You wanna get into this?
How many squats do you think you've done in your life?
That's depressing.
Yeah, okay, so you've done a lot of squats. So is it beneficial for me to be like this, like being the ninja, the techniques, cueing ninja with Alex here, she does squats? No. So that's where it's important to be passive. And this could be for anything. So if you're doing your squats, and I know you're doing them, stand down. That instills confidence, because if you're not hovering and helicoptering around your client, they know that you know that they've got it, and that's just going to make them feel awesome. Yeah. On the flip side, of course, if somebody's not feeling very good about their form and they want that attention, and for you to be more attentive, then just know when to play those parts.
I will say though, right now,
All right, cool. So what else do we have here? Yeah, so we want to, again, continue with the psychological, always linking the desired outcomes in their physical behavior. So that could be techniques. It could also be the lifestyle that they lead outside of their workouts. So it could be something as simple as cueing them to remember about the quality of a good, healthy, nutritious diet, getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, whatever their goals may be, what not to do, what to do, reinforcing those things. So it's not just about the perspiration, it's about what they do outside of the workouts. We talked a little bit about attitude, so being here now, being positive, focused, mind to muscle, feeling the muscle as they're working it, and always just connecting to their goals and their purpose, because they come to us totally wired in of what their purpose is, what they want to do,
sometimes they get distracted, so it's our job to reinforce it as much as we can when needed. And then I just say power words. So Andre, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about what power words are?
I mean, using their name. A lot of clients like when you use their name. Yes, great job. Powerful words that like enforce confidence are very important. We have a list.
Yeah, we got basically anytime you use the word now, well, now. Doesn't that just get your antenna up, your radar up? You know, we are, rather than you're going to do this. If we are going to do this, Mark, we're now going to do 20 sets of lunges combined with 3-minute planks and a wall sit, and then jog around the building. That's a lot better than saying you're going to do this.
Yeah, you do this, you do that. Let's do another set. Let's get up to 5 push-ups because you're in it together, right? So doesn't that make you feel better than just do another 5 push-ups?
People also love the word you, by the way. You resonates with them. You is always about them, like so you. And so you're doing great. You is another great thing to throw in there. You don't want to be over the top and obvious, but hey, it's important. Just using the word focus, I found, is excellent because people know what it is and how to apply it. And just saying it gets them on.
You ever see Dwayne and Jason, The Rock? You ever watch any workout video on YouTube of The Rock? You guys all know him, right?
Yeah, I'm not.
You don't know The Rock?
No, I know. I've not seen his
But
video.
anyways, he just goes, like he's doing his workout and just screams, focus. He just does that. It's just YouTube it, whatever. But
That's too comical, but it's
Yeah,
true. It's a
I
powerful
guess
word.
it's a power word. That's why he's using it. But he just screams out, focus. It's kind of funny.
I've often been like to a client who's a little distracted, like, be here now. We're doing this now. Focus. And that helps.
I think he just points to random people in the gym and just says focus.
I'd also say you're a little distracted, and I just say, okay, Jimmy, I just focus, like I point where he needs to go. So pointing is helpful too. Like, okay, come on, let's go here.
But you've developed that relationship.
Do it with everybody. Or you can say, come, like you'll follow me.
Come.
Develop your own style. Yeah. No, but it's true. Like,
Okay.
it's like you
Alright.
read your room, know your audience,
Yeah.
know your client.
Sure.
But these are some tools I've used, and everyone will develop their own style.
Okay.
And if you can take a little bit of that and apply it in the right setting, then it's good.
I've been told that too much praise can get watered down.
Absolutely. So you don't want to overly water it, and you want to give it when it's valid and real. Yeah, absolutely. And you also want to make sure.
And it's true too. Don't say good job when they're not doing good push-ups. Use different cues. They won't have those confidence, but they'll say, "Oh, that's a great push-up," because then when they do a great push-up, it means nothing when you say great push-up, right? So you got to be truthful. Always be honest. Never lie to your clients or anything like that.
Kids are less successful if their parents are always telling them they're doing a good job.
Right. Be specific about it too, like what's
Yeah,
good, what have
exactly.
you improved on maybe.
Yeah. You know what? You brought up a super point, and that's cueing, and that's part of coaching. What could you have done better? What did you like? And also saying, hey, can you see why this is an important exercise? Do you know why we're doing this? And that also is a good cue because they're like, yeah, I'm doing this because of this, this, and this. They're like, thank you for answering the questions, and now let's get back on. All right. And then another one is, very good. Just saying very good, excellent. And you can fill in the blanks with a few other words that you may find to be helpful. You can add intensity, reduce intensity, control the speed, which is other word cadence. And there's a lot of cueing involved where you give the tactical cueing, you give the verbal, audible cueing. And you always want to remember what the point, the outcome is of the exercise and why you're doing it. How to get your client psychologically where they need to be, and have fun. Think about the feeling they have at the end of the workout. Now, a quick exchange of words here.